Uh, Good morning. Good morning. As we're all stuck inside and have to watch the Patriots win a snow game they had no business winning. It just reliving my childhood here. That's where I'm going to start. I can't believe the Patriots won that game yesterday. Just absolutely devastating for the Broncos. They dominated is a hard word because their offense didn't do much either, but defensively they were so good the whole game. Only like four plays Patriots had, like four positive plays, and that's really all they needed. Just really devastating loss for the Broncos. The weather obviously turned the field goal decision early in the game where the Broncos could have gone up 10-0 instead of they tried to go up 14-0. They don't get it. It's bad play call. But the main thing is Sean Payton just didn't do. The Broncos needed a big play. They needed something. They needed like the flea flicker that the Patriots got. The Broncos needed to do something. Some reverses. I don't know, just something. They played not to lose in the second half, and then they ended up losing. They just didn't do anything. I know the weather, it was hard, but it just felt like Peyton needed to dial up one or two plays, and that's how the Broncos were going to win, and he couldn't do it. And then the first half, they just gave the Patriots the 7 points. As Stidham, he had one catastrophic play, and that was that, where only by like an inch or two, but the ball goes backwards and the Patriots get the ball at the 10-yard line. So that just, it didn't even feel like a real game. Then certainly didn't feel like the AFC Championship game. Prop bets wise, I should have gone 7-0. So I'm still bitter about that. I get 5-2, but Broncos money line doesn't hit. But the bets I gave out went 5-2, and I lost by half a yard on Ingram and Harvey's receiving yards. So that was annoying. But the Broncos just didn't have the ball for much of the second half. Patriots controlled it, and then they get the blocked field goal at the end of the game. Barely tipped the ball, but he gets enough on it. And then May makes the great play on the scramble. Apparently, he called his own number there. And the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and I just have this bad feeling they're going to win the Super Bowl. Hope I'm wrong, but that's what jumped out at me after the game is like they're really going to win these three games like this on defense. Not, almost all three of these games, Chargers, Texans, and Broncos, they could have lost all of them. And it just is going to lead up to them going to San Francisco, probably have some decent weather for the first time in these playoffs. And we'll get to Seattle in a second, but I thought the defense showed a lot of holes there, especially stopping the run against the Rams and Puka for that matter. But yeah, Patriots put a cap on it. Sean Payton can't get it done, can't get over the top, and the Broncos fall short. Bo Nix will be back next year. Maybe they get better. They certainly need a couple offensive targets. The offensive line is going to get a little bit older. Their left tackle, Bowles, is up there. So I don't know. Defense was good. Vance Joseph maybe gets a job. I'd give him a job. I don't know how he interviews, but, if we're looking for one of the best defensive minds, the Broncos did a hell of a job against Patriots. But that game was certainly the appetizer to the NFC Championship. The Rams and the Seahawks, another classic. Sean McVay, the big thing here is, do you go for a 2-point conversion? It's 31-26 after the Rams get the touchdown. And, it's the end of the third quarter, about 2 minutes left. They could have gone for two to make it a 3-point game. I guess he figured there'd be more scoring. And he just kicks the extra point. They go up they're within four. And that's it. The game just dies right there. No points in the fourth quarter. And it's 31-27. The headline outside of that play, because that kind of dictated, the way the game ended, which is the Rams just couldn't get the ball back, right? They had the one drive, went all the way down the field, and they're down by 4 with 7 minutes left, and they needed a touchdown, so they go forward and fourth down. They don't get it, and that's the end of the game. So Rams got the ball back with a few seconds left, but no real chance to get a touchdown. And so that's the headline is, should the Rams have gone for the 2-point conversion? They don't do it. And then from the actual game itself, it was just fantastic quarterback play. And basically both teams mirrored each other. You had fantastic quarterback play with one receiver in particular that was just amazing. Stafford was better than Darnold by the numbers and a few passes here and there, but and it felt like Stafford and Puka were equally responsible, whereas it felt like for Seattle, Jackson Smith, JSN was just absolutely amazing. Darnold played great. You got to give it to him, but man, JSN was always open, and the run after the catch for him was great. Seattle capitalized on the special teams error, which has just bitten the Rams all season. If you took the Seahawks yesterday, that's probably part of the reason. Is you just the Rams haven't been good on special teams. Seattle has. Seattle gets the fumble right there as they muff the punt. That was a devastating. The game's going back and forth, back and forth. That put Seattle up 11. But the game really shouldn't have gotten that close because Seattle stopped the Rams as they're up by 11, and they call a taunting penalty, which is just absurd. It was an absurd call. It's absurd that the player would give himself a chance to get called for that, knowing that it's going to be too close to call there as far as penalty. But just what a terrible call. Just doesn't make any sense. We allow all kinds of celebrations. So I thought that was weak. But regardless, it helped the Rams. Rams get the touchdown. Puka's ridiculous. So when I look at my prop bets, the last drive there, Puka gets the 2 catches to push it over his 7.5 total. He was obviously fantastic, but they just couldn't make the big play at the end. So Mike McDonald gets it done. Excuse me. That's the game really comes down to one play there for the Rams. Like when all said and done, it's like if the Rams can get that touchdown and go by 3, then all the pressure's on Darnold, and he just couldn't do it. McDonald draws it up. Stafford couldn't find anybody. McVay couldn't draw it up. However you want to categorize it, Seahawks players made better plays than the Rams players. Either way, Seahawks get the win, and then they close the game out. I think the most impressive thing about the Seahawks was the way they closed the game out. So the last drive of the game, they don't want to give Stafford the ball back. So instead of just running the ball a handful of times, they're out here letting Darnold throw the ball, and he made a couple plays. And then it's just the Seahawks were a perfect team this year. Whether or not they get over the hump, we'll see. I got plenty of time to think about it. My gut tells me the Patriots. I at least think it's coming down to the last drive of the game. I would take 4.5 points. I'd be surprised if it stays that way. That's where the number's at right now. I would think it would come down closer to 4, maybe even 3 by the time we're finished, because I don't think the metrics are going to point towards a Seattle blowout here. The Patriots defense has been too good. Seattle's going to have a hard time running the football against the Patriots the same way the Broncos did. And then Seattle's strength with JSN, it's a lot of, the Patriots defensive backs. They weren't perfect against the Broncos. Christian Gonzalez got beat in the first drive. If anything, it probably helps them. It's going to be a big challenge for the Patriots to be able to guard them, but I don't know if Seattle's explosive enough. This feels like an under. The total will be 46.5. I'll certainly take the under there. I think both teams are in the teens, maybe one team gets to the 20s. But this game's going to be really tight, really, really, really tight. 2 defensive coaches. And the way Seattle beat the Patriots the way Seattle beat the Rams was like everything went right for Seattle there. They got all 3 phases to play exactly the way they wanted. I don't know if they can overcome the adversity in the Super Bowl. I just don't know. And I just can't imagine the Patriots offense isn't going to get something going. One thing I didn't like about Seattle's defense is, and I thought the Rams could have ran the ball more effectively if they didn't fumble that punt. That put them down 2 scores, and then Stafford was, throwing darts all over the place. But the run game was there. Corum and Williams, even though Williams didn't get to his props on rushing, it's because Corum took too many carries, and the Rams just didn't run the ball enough in the second half. But they were able to run the football. Seattle's got to tighten that up. Likewise, though, the Patriots have been in this terrible weather, where now they're finally going to get in better weather, most likely in San Francisco. At least it won't be, below freezing and whatever they've been dealing with in Denver and then at home against the Chargers and the Texans, especially the Texans game. So I think the Patriots, I don't know. I just don't really see it for Seattle. Thought that was the best Darnold's going to play. To think we're going to get another great Sam Darnold game, I'm not sure about it. But, I thought the Broncos were going to win yesterday. They came up pretty short. The game theory was played out the way I thought it'd play out. The weather made it easier for everything to go under, but the Broncos just couldn't make the one big play and they missed the field goal. And then the other game, I thought the Rams would win, but I feel like that punt return fumble and then McDonald and the Seahawks defense making the big play at the end. Otherwise, it's a 50-50 game. If they play these games 100 times, I think you see a similar result to what happened yesterday. Really good games. Legacies defined in certain ways, positive and negative. I think the negative is for Sean Payton. That would have put him 100% in an elite category, get into a second Super Bowl with a different team, especially backup quarterback. Instead, his team can't do anything on offense. So that's a tough one. And then Vrabel here is an elite category, him and Drake May, if they can get over the hump. And then likewise with Darnold and especially Mike McDonald, because, man, coming out of nowhere, if you're not from Baltimore, you don't even know who the hell he is. Like, this is just a fantastic rise for him. And then on the Rams side, this might be the end of the window as Stafford. I don't know. This felt like this should have been the year. Maybe they come back one more year and they can patch it together on defense and make some adjustments. But yeah, that's that for me. To be determined here exactly where things are going to head after the Super Bowl with the pod. The more I have been thinking about it after I've moved, now it's been, moved in June, been involved in a couple of different things, non-sports betting related. And, just, yes, working with the high school kids, seeing how prevalent gambling is, makes me, know that there's money to be made. There's a market to talk about sports betting, but I also feel like the less sports betting that we do is the best, really, because it's become too available. There's too many things to bet on. It's too easy. And there's too many horror stories. And I wonder if when you had to know a guy or make that trip to Vegas, it at least weeded out people that were never going to be interested in sports betting. So I just have mixed feelings exactly about where the pod's going to go. I appreciate everybody that's still listening, and I like interacting with everybody. So if you have any questions or want to talk about anything, feel free to hit me up. And over the next couple of weeks, I'll make a decision exactly where things are headed. So yeah, enjoy the day off. I'm sure everybody's off, and if you won yesterday, great. If not, it is what it is. There's the Super Bowl, but yeah, I'm going to lean towards the Patriots. I would say I would take the points. I would take the under, and that's that. All right. Have a good day, guys. See ya.